Stampin' Up! Demonstrator Teresa Harper. I'm located in Oregon in the US. Now let's see if I can get the video up and see the chat. And hopefully my computer will cooperate so I can do that. Okay, so let's go back. Go. Oh, maybe here. Here. All right, let's try this. Okay, hopefully that'll work. Oh, hi, Tracy. Thank you. Thanks for jumping on and letting me know you're here. That way I could see that my chat did come up. Thank you so much. All right. So tonight I'm using the Snowy Wonder bundle again. Photopolymer stamps, there's 20. And then we'll be using the Snowy Wonder dies. And actually a good share of our card tonight is the dies. You get 23 dies in this set. And then we're going to be using the Snowy Scenes Designer Series paper that also coordinates with this stamp and die bundle. This is part of the suite. It's called Snowy Scenes. And those are the patterns that we have. Okay, so let's go ahead. And I'm going to get right to it because I don't know how long my voice will hold out or coughing will hold out. So let's just jump right in. There's a bunch of die cutting to be done, but I have done a good share of the die cutting, but let's get the stamping done. So we're going to start with the snowman from Snowy Scenes or from Snowy Wonder. And we're going to stamp that in Memento Tuxedo Black. And then we're going to stamp the hat. And then we're going to stamp our candy cane, but I chose to stamp that in Poppy Parade. So let's get that done. Not quite as crisp as I would like it. That's much better. Okay, so we've got that. Now, let's go ahead and color up our snowman. And we're going to need a light pool party blend. And I'm just going to put just the slightest little outline along the left edge of the snowballs here that make up this snow guy to give him a more rounded appearance. And then put a little shadow in there. Okay, and the same thing here. All right, so that'll just make him look a little less flat. And then we'll take our light peach pie and give him a carrot nose. And finally, we're going to take the light and dark Poppy Parade blends and do up our candy cane. So I'm going to fill in every other stripe with the light. Okay, and then I'll go back with my dark. And I'm just going to touch in a little bit here at the edges. And then I'll just go back and touch where those meet just to give it a blend. Okay? And then we'll need to die cut these out. So let's see. And while we're die cutting, we need to take the, oh, these are from Christmas Friends. Grabbing from the Christmas Friends dies, I want these wreath pieces. I'm going to cut the large and the small in garden green. And through the magic of television, there they are. And then we're also going to take the little bow tie and we're going to cut that out of a piece of the white glimmer paper. And again, through the magic of television, there we are. Okay, that's all we need in the Christmas Friends bundle. Now for these, we need a piece of the Country Woods Designer Series paper. And we're going to cut the base of our snow globe out of that. And again, that's already done. So let's grab the snowman, the hat, and the candy cane. Oh, and before we do that, I'm going to cut this down just so that I don't waste all that and it'll fit through my mini machine. So we're just going to take that, line those up, and you should be able to see those stick arms right through that. And then we'll grab the hat and the candy cane. And we'll line those up. And put a little piece of mint tape there. Could use post-it tape, post-it notes, washi tape, whatever you like. I really like the mint tape because it doesn't leave anything tacky. The post-it tape works good, but sometimes I find it does leave some tackiness behind. And I have not found that with the mint tape. So let's just take and put these through the mini. I've got my base plate number 1, and then 2 of the acrylic plates, number 2, my sandwich. And there we are. Oh, you know what I didn't cut? I need to cut. Oh, maybe I did cut them ahead of time. Hang on. Let's look. Okay, so we've got all those pieces. Got those ready to go. Okay, so we'll set all of these aside. And then, oh, Tracy, it's I'm feeling better tonight. It was a really rough morning, and then I remembered that I had some prescription cough drops, and I took those, and I felt a whole lot better, but I'm pretty tired and drained. So, okay. So we also needed, out of that Snowy Wonder set, I cut the elongated snow globe out of white. And then I've actually cut a couple of the larger circles, the bigger snow globes. And you know, now that I'm looking at this, is this what I really, yeah, I did use this. Okay. So I've got one in Pool Party. I've got one in silver foil, and I've got one in the new brushed silver, which is coming up in the online exclusives that will be released in November. So we'll decide which one of these we want to use. But we have a couple things that we need to do before we start. First of all, we need to stamp on this. So we need a piece of scrap paper. Okay, and we're going to pull the where the falling snow stamp set. This is a single stamp, background stamp, and I'm going to use this right in the case. So I'm going to actually turn this direction because I want my image to go in here. But we're going to take and ink this up in Pool Party ink. Okay. And then we're going to take our snow globe and turn it over with the good side down. We're just going to lay that in there. And then I'm going to put that scrap paper on there and give that a little brush with my fingers, making sure that I don't move it. And then I'm going to lift that up. And there we go. Okay, now let's give this a quick clean. Okay, because we're done with that. And then we're going to bring back in that Pool Party. I'm going to put down just a little bit. Excuse me. Let me grab a drink real quick. And I'm going to take a blending brush. And I'm going to very lightly ink that background. But I'm not going all the way. I just want it to look like there's some sky there and then snow at the bottom. And I don't want to put a lot. I just want it to be a light color. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Now let's give this a quick wipe. Okay, got that. Bring back in this scrap paper. And I'm going to take that bow tie and the dark petal pink Stampin' Blend. I'm going to use the bullet tip because I don't want to ruin my brush tip. And I'm just going to give that a little bit of ink. I'm not pressing hard, it's just a real light press. Just to put some ink on that bow and color that shimmer paper the color that I want. Okay? Okay, so now we'll set that aside to dry, although alcohol ink dries rather quickly. All right, and I think we're ready to get started putting this card together. So let's bring in our card base. We've got a petal pink card base, A2 sized, 5.5 by 8.5. And I've scored that in the center at 4 1/4. And we're going to give that a press. And then I've taken a piece of petal pink and I've run this through the Snowfall embossing folder or Snowflake Sky embossing folder. And for this one, again, I wanted it to be a little less. So instead of lining it up on the black line here, I put it all the way to the top so that I would get a little less on the top there. Okay, and this piece of petal pink is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and put this down on our card base. Gotta get that goober off of there. Okay. And I'm going to use some liquid glue. This is Tombow liquid adhesive. I'm just going to put that down. And I'm going to put it on my card like I would a regular layer with a nice even border on 3 sides. Okay, so about like that. And then I'm going to bring in a piece of the Snowy Scenes Designer Series paper. I picked this house and mountain pattern, and this is cut at 1.5 by 5.25. And I'm going to add this to my card. And again, leave the same border so that basically when I'm putting these two pieces together, although that one's not looking to be the right size. It's looking to be just a little bit off. Yeah. Okay, and this one's too short. What did I do? Okay, let's find that piece of paper, and it's on the other side. Candy canes. Candy canes. Right here. Okay. So again, let's cut this at 1.5, because who knows what I did. So 1.5, and when I cut these shorter, I like to cut on this side, measure here, and to the edge of this white piece on your Stampin' trimmer, that is exactly 1.5 inches. So we're going to do that. And then I want to cut this at 5.25. Okay. And hopefully I've got it right now and I didn't cut my petal pink piece too long. Oh no, now we're good. Okay, so let's take this piece, and again I'm going to use some liquid glue. I must have cut that one at 5 1/8 instead of 4 1/4. Okay, so then we're going to line this up on the 3 sides to make an even border. Line up the top and bottom of the Designer Series paper and the petal pink piece, and then give that a nice press down. Smooth out that glue. All right. And then we're going to start adding our pieces. So we are actually, before we do that, we need to do some stamping on this piece. And we're going to do a little bit of a heat embossing on that. So let's get out our embossing tools. Okay. So we're going to run our embossing buddy over this snow globe base. Okay. And the embossing buddy and the reverse tweezers all come in the embossing additions toolkit. And then we're going to take the Versamark ink pad and Season's Greetings, which is also in the Snowy Wonder set. I'm going to ink that up really well with the Versamark. I'll move that to the side for just a second so I can bring this down here where I can see it. I'm going to line that up. Let that ink soak into the paper for a second so I get the best possible coverage. And then I'm going to bring in my reverse tweezers to hold that because it's so small. And I've got the Wow Polished Silver embossing powder here. This is part of the Metallics collection in my online store. And give that a little tap. Okay, and that looks pretty good. Okay, we'll just pour that back in. I just use a coffee filter inside my case. It just makes things easier and quicker for me, especially while I'm live. See, I'm just going to give that a quick flick, not too hard. Heat up my heat tool. And then I'll start from the back. Heat that up just a pinch. That helps with the paper warpage. And then you can see the magic of the embossing powder. It actually looks like I didn't get the S on greetings very well. Okay, well, we're going to go with this for now and I'll fix it later. Okay, so that is now ready. And let's go ahead and start putting this together. So we can do pool party here. And then we're going to do, well, let's go ahead and put this together and then we'll make our decision. So I'm going to put just a small piece of, just a real little track of glue down here at the bottom of my snow globe. And then add my base to that. Give that just a second to hold. And then we're going to take our snowman and we're going to pop him up with some dimensionals. So let's grab some of those. And I want just a tiny little piece on the arms. So I'm going to take an edge piece from my mini right here. Actually, this one, nope, that one's going to be too big. So let's cut this in half. So I just need just this tiny little piece. Pull off the backing and add that to his hand right here. Okay, and then we'll get one more tiny little piece for the other hand. See if that's too big. Yeah, well, it looks a little on the big side. So I'm going to go down here. I like to take just these tiny little edge pieces where I can cut real small. You could do this with the adhesive sheets that we carry, which is basically just one very large Stampin' Dimensional. Okay, so we've got those. Well, we do if it'll stick. Stick. Okay, now I can remove that backing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and refresh my screen. I don't see that anybody else has come on besides Tracy. I hope I'm not missing anybody. If I am, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to put my snowman here. And before I do that, I'm actually going to trim off the very bottom of this. I want this to be pretty much looking like there's no white border at the very bottom, just because I want it to look like it's sitting in that snow globe. Okay, so we've got that. Now, from the Snowy Scenes paper, we have Laura Isom is there. Hello, Laura. I had to move my screen up. I've taken one of these little penguins that has the scarf. There is a penguin that stamps in the set, but he stamps plain. He doesn't have a scarf or anything, and I wanted this cute little guy. So I'm going to fussy cut this guy out, and I wanted you to see really how quick and easy that is. So I just took that out of that piece of designer series paper, and I'm just going to give him a quick trim out. Oh, and actually, I don't know what I was thinking. This particular penguin, I didn't have to trim out. He fits, you can die cut him. And I forgot that. There's one that has a little beanie hat, and you can't die cut him, but you can this one. But I kind of forgot that. So here he is, hand cut. All right, so this guy's going to go right here next to our snowman. So we're going to take and put some dimensionals on the left side of him, because he's going to overlap the snowman. So I'm going to give just a tiny bit of glue right here. I don't need a bunch. The dimensionals are strong enough to hold him, so I don't really need to worry about that. And all I'm going to do is make sure that I keep his arms and legs inside the snow globe. Then we're going to take the snowman's hat, and again, I'm going to take a strip here because I just want a thin piece to run along the brim of, not the brim of that hat, the top of the hat, because the brim's going to sit down on there. So I'm just going to cut another piece of my Stampin' Dimensional edge. And hope I didn't cut that too long. Perfect. Okay, so I'll put that on. And then we'll just set that on his head like so. And the last thing we need to add to this snowman is the candy cane. Now your candy cane doesn't quite cut up into there, and I wanted to hang the candy cane on his arm. So I'm just going to trim out that center with my scissors. It's really rather easy to do. And then I'll be able to take and stick that on here like so. Okay. And then again, I'm going to take another small piece of dimensional. And I'm just going to stick this up here underneath. Well, actually, let's just put it on the back here, because that'll be a whole lot easier. Okay. I'm going to stick that right there. All right, and there is our little snow globe. So now let's go ahead and add this to our card. And let's decide, do we want pool party? Well, before we do that, let's add the ribbon so that you can get the full effect of how this is going to look, because that might influence your decision. So I'm going to take some of the silver and white sheer ribbon, and I'm going to add this up here. I'm going to make a bow. Okay. I'm just going to tie that up. push that in through. Okay. And then we'll finagle that into a nice looking bow. Okay. Give that a bit of a trim. All right. So now we have our ribbon here. And now we need to decide. I thought I needed something to make that snow globe stand out a little bit, so I wanted to put a little bit of a background in here. So we can do pool party. Okay. And then this is going to have this up here, like so. This would be easier if I put it together for you now. So we've got that. You know what? We're going to do that because it'll just be easier. Uh-oh. Whew. One of my bows decided to go on a little flying thing here. So let's put these two pieces together with just some liquid glue here in the center. And then we'll take our bow and we're going to get a little glue dot. And we're going to get a little, where did that glue dot go? That was bizarre. Okay, we're just going to put that right in the center of that bow. Add that to the center of our swag there. There we go. Now it'll be easier for you to see. So we've got that and this. Hello, Ramona Prometheus. Welcome. Or we can switch this out for the brushed silver. So that it looks like this. Okay, I'm going to have to move that bow up a bit, I can see. Or we can use the full shiny silver foil. Okay, which one would you like to see? I'll show that to you again. Here's actually the pool party. That's what I did my original card in. And then here's the shiny foil. And here is the brushed silver foil. Let me know in the comments. Excuse me. Okay, I have one for brushed silver. Anybody else weighing in? Laura says pool party. Jennifer says shiny. Hello, Jennifer. Okay, so right now I have one of each. Ramona, it looks like you're the tiebreaker. Go ahead and weigh in on that. And let me know what you think. I'm going to give you one more second here. And while you're doing that, I'm actually going to fix this bow. I want to move this up just a tad. So I'm going to bend that card and just give it a little bit. Not really bend it, but... And the other thing I want to do is I want to put this where it's a little bit more of an angle here. Not so straight. Okay. There we go. That's more of what I want right there. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to move this down and see if I got anybody else weighing in there. Okay, well, I'm going to go with brush silver then because Tracy was the first one to respond. Means everybody picks something different. So I'm just going to put some of this brush silver down here. Put that in like that. And then we'll put this down again with some Stampin' Seal because I already put my dimension up on my characters there. Okay. And then we're going to take and add this. Oh, and because we're using the brushed silver, and I don't want a mess of glue, you have to be careful with that, I'm going to use some glue dots. Then I don't have to worry about a glue mess. So I'm just going to put 2 full glue dots, and then in the center, I'm going to roll one up into a log here. And then we'll just add this here, like so. And then we've got some Neutrals adhesive back sequins to add on. So let's go ahead and grab some of those and add those up here. You know, actually, I'm going to change my mind because we used the silver. I'm not going to use these. I'm actually going to take the loose white snowflakes. I'm going to add those on because it's, I think, too much silver if I do it differently. So I'm going to put one here and one here. And let's go ahead and drop those on, and then I'll decide where I'm going to put that third one. So we'll take a snowflake here with our Take Your Pick tool. Okay, then I'll take a smaller snowflake. There's 3 sizes of snowflakes in here. Oh, that's the same size. That's not what I wanted. Give me this one right here. I might have to put down more liquid glue. Okay, and then we'll add another one. I'm going to go over here. Here, and I'll pick up this larger snowflake and stick that down. Okay, and there is the front of our card. I hope you like that. Okay, now let's grab the inside and the envelope, and then we'll be done. So for the inside of my envelope, I took a piece of 3 5/8 by 4 7/8 inch basic white. I stamped I stamped one of the trees, and then I stamped 2nd generation and 3rd generation. I've added a piece which is the opposite side of this Country Woods and is in the petal pink. So I added that to the bottom. So we'll just go ahead and add this to the inside. I didn't put a sentiment on this one. I should do that. We've got season's greetings. Let's grab hoping this season is bright and beautiful. And this comes from Peaceful Seasons. No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. Comes from the Peaceful Season stamp set right here. Hoping this season is bright and beautiful. So let's do that and get some Poppy Parade ink. And we'll just stamp that down right there. And now our card is complete. And here is our envelope. I took and stamped that penguin. And now we have our card for tonight. All right. The glow behind is a wonderful touch. Thank you, Laura. I'm so glad you like that. I thought when I started with it that it just had too much, it just didn't stand out enough. So I decided to add that extra piece. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Bring that just a little bit closer for you. I will see you back on my Facebook page on Tuesday, I believe. And oh yeah, I think volleyball might be over, but we're not sure yet. So anyway, Tuesday night, whether I'm live or there's a video, there'll be something there at 7 p.m. And then again on Thursday night here on YouTube at 7 p.m. So everybody have a wonderful week, and I'll see you soon. Good night.